You are now listening to episode 28 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Welcome to the show where we're going to talk about comics and comic book news and comic book movies and comic book TV shows.
Lots of the word comic.
And insert the word comic. Comic book serial.
Stand-up comics.
Stand-up comics. And,
Have you watched the new Seinfeld stand-up thing?
I did.
Netflix yet?
Yeah, I did. It was okay.
It was all right.
It was on. That sounded like a Seinfeld
It's not that
episode.
kind of a Let's Go comic show.
Yeah. But it does have. He did have Superman in it. Superman's like his thing. Did you know that? Like throughout his show, like Superman's always been like a part of his shtick. You know, he's always had like a Superman magnet on the refrigerator, and he's always had this like Superman statue like in the living room, and he has this affinity for girls that look like Lois Lane. He'd be like, "Oh, she's like Lois." And anyways, there's always little references to Superman in his comedy act. And anyways, in the background like of his like thing, he had like Superman rocketing to Earth, and someone's asking him, "Hey, are those yours?" And he's like, "Yeah, those are mine." All right, it's just like matter of fact. So, anyways, enough about Seinfeld. What is the deal with Seinfeld? We're gonna get into some news from New York Comic Con. Actually,
that's happening right
now. So we're probably not going to get all the major news because it's Friday right now. But
there's
tomorrow,
a few things that have come out so far.
Yeah, there's a few things, and so we'll try to cover them with a whole bunch of other things that we thought might be interesting to talk about. If you notice my voice sounding way sexier, it is. Like last episode, Matt got sexier.
Down with the sickness.
Dude, you know what I think happened? I have a theory. So
We did not make out. That was not how that happened.
No. Nope.
Just in case that's where you were going with it.
Man, that's just nope. Not where I was going, but thanks for clearing that off. Out of the top 3 reasons why I don't feel good. So I feel like I was listening to the last episode, and much like you know how the atom can travel through like sound waves and electricity and currents, I feel like the sickness came out of like my podcast app and jumped into my face. It made me sick. Or I got the flu shot.
You heard my sickness, and that's what made me
I heard your sickness, and it just infected me. Or I got the flu shot, and it got me, dude. And at the doctor's, it says, the flu shot does not make you sick. Like 2 days later, I got sick. Coincidence, or did I just get sick from the freaking flu? I don't know, man. Either way,
knows? I'm
over it, and I just want to get into talking about some good stuff. So, New York Comic Con 2017.
Yes.
What's sticking out to you, man?
It's so funny. Like I feel like we can get stuck as comic book appreciators on the little details, but I think sometimes they make a difference. And one of those little details is since DC Rebirth has begun a little over a year ago, at the top of every comic book cover you have this banner.
Yeah.
That says DC Rebirth, right?
Yeah.
And apparently starting in December, that is going away in favor of some little corner boxes that are traditionally on comic books.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, even though the banner's going away, they haven't had that square for quite a while.
Yeah, I feel like it hasn't been a while. Yeah, I'm cool. I like that. I like what I saw. I only saw the Wonder Woman one. I don't know if they released other.
They're kind of taking a note from Marvel Legacy, it seems. Who's doing something very similar. Oh. Got a little traditional kind of stuff in the corner. But what it looks like they're doing is in the various like families of books, they're going to have like that logo at the bottom of the box.
Oh, cool.
So like Batman family, Superman family, like they'll kind of have that unifying thing so you can tell like, okay, this is part of this group of stories.
Huh. That's cool. That makes sense. You know, one of the cool things that I missed from... I'm trying to remember when it was. I think it was after Batman, like the Batquake in the late 90s, early 2000s. They did this...
Yeah, that was like No Man's Land?
No Man's Land. I think after that, they did this really cool like dressing for the Batman comics. Like, it was weird because of all the DC comics, the Batman ones had a very specific look to them. They had this like Batman, like kind of stylized Batman mask in the corner, and they all looked kind of like they all belong together, and it looked really good. And I think Chip Kidd, he's a graphic designer. I think he did the design for it, which doesn't matter to anybody except for someone who's into design. But he did all the the comic book covers and made them look like they're unified, and I really liked how that looked. And this reminds me of that. So like a Batman comic will have like a Batman kind of icon, probably. I'm guessing the Superman ones will have the Superman, and so on.
Yeah.
So all the Martian Manhunter books will have
Martian Manhunter have Oreos.
He'll have Oreos in the corner. He'll just say Nabisco in the corner.
Oh man. But yeah, they showed, someone took a picture of the screen where they showed wherever they're at, I think it was the Diamond Retailer breakfast. And you have like exciting. A Superman cover, you have a Batgirl cover, a Suicide Squad cover, and a Wonder Woman cover, and they all kind of have their own little things.
Okay.
And the color scheme of the logo and the word universe like slightly changes depending on what the book looks like, which I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
From an art point of view. I mean, I would say the little DC Rebirth banner at the top of the books has kind of been one of the only like little things I think I would nitpick, because I feel like the cover is kind of getting cut off a little bit. And I think it's just something about that full cover being taken up by an image. Like
you like it?
I like it, man.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Rebirth branding, to be honest. I don't really.
It's always been a little wonky, man. That typeface. Wow. The typeface was really weird.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I was like, why don't you just use the Rebirth like brand from the Flash and from Green Lantern back in the day, like to make it, because that's what they were trying to say in the first place. Like that, it was like
similar to what that did for those characters.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. I like the, I just think it feels good.
It looks good. I like it. And you know, I was, last night I forgot I was actually playing a little bit of Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh.
Hey, I'm 2 years off on that game. And it starts up, and I forgot, like, the old DC logo that they debuted once New 52 started. I hate that logo.
The one where the it's like peeling.
Yeah, I just didn't like that.
Was it a sticker or a page?
It's supposed to be like
what's
a page.
It supposed to be? Yeah.
It looked like a sticker, and
it was weird, man.
They didn't really use it well. It wasn't a good.
This change to this one, I think, has been a lot better. It feels a lot stronger, a lot.
It feels more comic, and it feels like DC. It feels like it looks kind of like the old thing, but it's updated. But I'm saying that because it just looks good. I like seeing it. And then the game yesterday, I was like, oh, I hate that. I hate that logo.
It was funny that happened right around the time of the New 52, right?
Yeah, you know it's funny because New 52 went like 7 months with the dishwasher logo, DC logo, the one that had like the star and the swoosh. I always call it looks like a dishwasher like brand.
That's funny.
But then 7 months in they changed it. And because I remember
they kept the New 52 branding for what, 5 years?
Dude, the whole time it was like New 52, even when they only had like 48 comics.
It's no longer new, and it's no longer 52,
and it sucks.
So good for Rebirth, like kind of saying like, hey, like this banner and this branding has done its purpose. Yeah. And now we're just gonna keep telling good stories.
I really like how it looks. I mean, it looks really good. It has
like a classic look to it, man.
Yeah, there's something about and making it easy to like even thumb through if you're going through a stack of comics too. Like sometimes your stack and it's like sitting on your reading area and you're like, oh man, what the heck? And it's easy to kind of slide it over and go, oh, I'm gonna go. There's that Batman issue, or there's that. Like,
do you remember they got really like off the wall creative for a while? I think maybe even a little bit before the New 52, like where the title would be, where the DC logo would be, or the pricing, or the artist, the creator's name. Like it was all over the place. Like there was no consistency to it. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to have a little consistency on that.
You know what? You just said something. You said creator. I don't see any creator credits on these covers.
Oh.
There's not a single.
Maybe they're just like mock-ups.
Yeah. Oh, they might be. I don't know. So one of the things that I saw was they were going to go back to original numbering. I don't know if that's confirmed or what. I just saw like it was like Superman 800. Was it?
It was Superman 800, Batman 800, and
I just saw a Tony Daniels cover.
Wonder Woman 700.
Okay.
And Flash 700.
Super pumped on the cover that I saw for Superman 700. Like I like Tony Daniels. Here's the thing: Tony Daniels has been like really good sometimes. It's like he experiments with his looks, his art. Sometimes it's like fantastic.
The number 800. So here's it is. Tony S. Daniel had a special cover for Superman number 800. Yeah, it's a little weird. The thing that stuck out to me about that, I'm looking at it now, is Superman's quads look like ridiculously like long. His legs look awkwardly long.
His cape is the one that made me like, what the heck? It looks like it's wet. It looks really weird. Doesn't his cape look like it looks like it came out of a box?
You know what it reminds me of? It looks like a red version of Cyborg's design in the Justice League movie. Like this awkward, like all these angles on it and stuff. I'm like, what is that made out of?
Yeah, it's really weird, man. It's I don't get it. Like, Tony Daniel, your art's really good. Why does your cape look like Superman like slept on it?
But look at like what his legs look like, and then his torso too. I'm like, why does it seem like? So you have this cover for Superman 800, and apparently Tony S. Daniel will also do similar covers for Wonder Woman 34, which would be number 700, Batman 35, which would be number 800 for him, and the Flash number 39 in January would be 700 for the Flash. So it doesn't look like they're necessarily, I mean, at least with the info we have now, they're not switching the numbering of the book. They're just recognizing, hey, this would be number whatever.
Yeah, they kind of did that with in the New 52 when I think it was, I don't know if it was Detective, like
Detective
the 900th,
like 900, right?
Yeah, it was like the 900th like consecutive issue. Maybe it wasn't issue 900 or something. But yeah. So, anyways, whatever.
Well, that makes me think of another thing from New York Comic Con. You have Action Comics 1000 is a pretty big deal that they're ramping up for too. It's going to have like a nice like. Not just the issue, but there's going to be like some sort of bound like book with art and stories and different things from the past 1000 issues of Action Comics.
Oh, nice.
Which is kind of cool. And I think the issue 1000 is going to be written by Tomasi and Jurgens.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that makes sense. So put both teams on there and stuff like that. I like when the teams are together and they're both quality. I've heard nothing but good things about Action. I've only been buying one book because
no, man,
you can't buy them all. So, okay. Any other news coming out of New York Comic Con, dude? Come on.
Let me see here.
Tell me.
Oh, okay. So we have the launch of Earth M for DC as a whole new universe and like set of stories.
Okay, and that is Milestone.
Is Milestone.
Sorry, I'm like, what
Milestone.
Is? Set it up for me to cut you off.
Milestone. Justin, can you give us history on what Milestone is? And what
Milestone
for DC.
From my understanding of Milestone Universe, because I remember when it came out back in the mid '90s, it was set in the Dakotaverse. They called it the Dakotaverse, and it was a lot of comics from a lot of black creators, people that had, different experiences in culture. And it was actually really cool. I feel like we talked about this one time before. I remember getting a couple of them because they ended up in some of those packs I would buy. But there was Icon. There was Hardwire. Was it Hardwire or Hard Case?
Ooh, I don't know, actually.
Oh, man. And the most famous has been Static, because he had a cartoon and stuff, and he was a
cartoon. Static Shock,
Static Shock.
He's
been in Young Justice.
He was in Young Justice. I feel like
he was in Justice League Unlimited too.
Yeah, there was a crossover with that. I remember that. Okay,
they had like the older version of him too. Happened, remember?
Oh yeah, the old version of him was a crossover with Batman Beyond, right? Did that happen?
I don't know if he was on Batman Beyond, but
there was
on
an older version of him.
The Justice League Unlimited episode where they met the future Justice League.
Yes.
Batman Beyond was in that Justice League. So
that's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
And so Static Shock was in that too. Anyways.
I always loved that character. Like, that's how I wasn't as familiar with Milestone as far as its publishing, but Static Shock, I watched the heck out of that thing.
Yeah.
And it was cool to have him and have Icon and Rocket as part of Young Justice. And so you can see him kind of bringing in those characters. And the biggest thing that I remember is that was the brainchild and work of love of the late Dwayne McDuffie.
Yeah. Dwayne McDuffie is one of those guys, if you don't know, he's written tons of great comics, and he did a lot of the episodes that you loved from Justice League Unlimited and stuff. He wrote those. So yeah, and he passed away 3 years ago, I think.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, man, there was a lot of cool stuff that happened with Milestone. I just think it just didn't. I don't know if DC gave it the push it needed, or I don't know why it kind of fell off.
Well, I think here's from what I remember. I mean, with this news, I'm like trying to look into like what was happening with Milestone. Is it did have a following, and that's because it was part of DC, but it wasn't part of like the DC universe. So DC published it, and shared in the profits, but Milestone was its own thing, and they got creative control over their stories, right?
Exactly.
And so I think, like if it didn't serve DC well, they're probably like, we're not going to like put a bunch of money into it. I'd imagine that's how it happened. And there was talk, I feel like a couple years ago, before Dwayne passed, like they were talking about kind of revamping that too. Yeah,
it was weird. There was a lot of, I feel like they tried to reboot it a few times, and I'm not really sure what happened.
It seemed like did they do anything with New 52?
Well, Static was in New 52. I remember Zombie was a part of, I don't think Zombie was in New 52. I think it was right before New 52. Do you remember? There was this
I'm trying to remember.
Called,
I do remember the book. I just don't remember when it was.
It started in, because it had the guy, Fraser Irving was doing it. The guy that was, he did some of that Bruce Wayne return from Bruce Wayne. So I think it was.
That those covers were.
It was right before New 52 came out. Zombie came out, I think. New 52 started in... Was it part of New 52? I don't remember, but...
I know, right? Now
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They tried, though. They tried to rebring back some of the stuff. And
Volume 2, DC Comics in May 2011 ran for 6 issues, which were collected in trade paperback.
Okay. So New 52 started September of 2011, right? So it was probably right before. It was probably right before.
Yeah, but I remember, like, it was kind of cool. They had a few different things along that line, like they were trying to diversify a little bit, and then the New 52 happened. So
yeah, there's been a few different.
There's that.
Yeah, they did a reboot. It looks like in 2015, but I don't know what happened. So they announced it in 2015, Earth M, but it looks like nothing happened until now. So
yeah, so we have Earth M, and so what's interesting is they already have creators attached to a few books to launch, and the first of which is Milestone. So it looks like that's just going to set up the Dakotaverse.
Is it like a one?
Let me see. Milestone stars Icon and Rocket.
Cool.
So I mean, Milestone writers is Reginald Hudlin and Dennis Cowan, and art by Ken Lashley. Static Shock is going to be written by Hudlin and Cowan as well, with art by Kyle Baker.
Yeah, I love Kyle Baker. Kyle Baker is like, I was telling you like before we started, like his Hawkman stuff from, remember Wednesday Comics?
That was him?
Yeah. Oh man, so good.
I couldn't remember who it was.
Yeah, he's really, really good. And he also did DC put a Plastic Man comic out early 2000s, and he's really adaptive. His style can that's where it works.
Rad.
He does really good stuff.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, he did some really cool Joker stuff too in the early 90s. Just some of his he did this control art for DC that was really good as well. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So we have Duo, same writers, adding Greg Pak into that.
Yeah.
Cover art by Jim Lee. Doesn't say interior art.
Yeah. He's like
Love Army.
Love Army, dude.
Hudlin and artist Ryan Benjamin. And then Earth M by Hudlin and Alice Randall. Art by Dennis Cowan and Bill Sienkiewicz.
So cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a solid start. And there's even rumors, that Robert Kirkman might be involved at some point.
Oh, that's cool.
Which, shoot, that could be kind of cool.
Yeah. I like, it doesn't look like it's going to be called the Dakotaverse. It's just going to be called Earth M.
Yeah.
So,
which I think that's fine. Like it kind of, I think it unifies with the branding and the verbiage that DC uses for a lot of their stuff. And so you have you have Earth 2, you have Earth whatever, Earth M. And I think it's cool that you get, that makes them separate enough where they're going to have their own stories they can tell, and it doesn't have to be tied to whatever events or continuities happening. But that still gives them the ability, like, oh, if something happens in the multiverse,
you can travel. He says
Icon and Superman.
Yeah, it says that, like Hudlin said, that it's best when the Milestone characters are separate from the DCEU, which I agree. Sorry, I didn't mean the DCEU, the DC universe. We can talk about the DCEU in a second. But, yeah, he said they work best separate, and I think so. And they did do crossovers again in like '93, but it was a universal type. It wasn't like they live in the same area. There was some type of like crossover through, multiverse stuff. So yeah. So I think that makes sense. Like, so have cool, its own deal. So, which means the Static Shock just erased from everyone's memories when he was a part of Teen Titans and things like that. Probably
that's fine. They're picking and choosing that stuff right now anyway. Dude, that's I think it's worked out fine so far, man. Just keep it going.
Yeah. So that's good. Anything? Let's go. Rapid fire. Bam, bam, bam. What else is coming out?
Bam, bam, bam. Weapon H.
Who cares? It's like Weapon Hulk. Are you a Hulk? Weapon X? I don't know. Yeah. Do you care about that? Does that excite you?
Nope.
I just don't. Sometimes I'm like, I feel like I can hear an idea and go, ooh, that would be cool. Like, this does not sound cool.
Dude, it's really weird. And even with Marvel Legacy stuff, I like looked at the shop at all of the books on the shelves. Mm-hmm. I was like, there's nothing here that's pulling me in, because I'm totally open when there's a new a new launch of something, that the publishers do. I'm always willing to impress me, like pull me in with something. And there's literally nothing. I'm like, I'll just keep getting Iron Fist, I guess.
Yeah. Weapon, I don't know, it just doesn't sound good to me. Like, the last, I feel like
that's about as rapid fire as we can get, because I think that's all the news so far.
That's right. Like,
rapid fire. Weapon
there might be some news that is coming out right now. One of the things, like with Hulk, like I feel like the Totally Awesome Hulk is a cool idea. Stick with that. Follow that up.
Have you read that?
I've read a few of them through when it was on the Unlimited app.
Yeah, I read the first arc on Marvel Unlimited, and it was great.
Yeah. And then before that, the last Hulk thing that I thought was really cool was Indestructible Hulk, when he was like working for S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I read that for a while. That was really cool. And other than that, like, Marvel just needs to figure out their life. I don't know. Anyways, so Legacy.
Legacy, dude. Well, that's the thing about Legacy. I mean, just to throw my 2 cents in out there, what have we said that DC has that Marvel doesn't have?
A plan?
Well, there's that. Usually, that's not the case, actually, which is really funny to see it switched. No, but it's usually Legacy. Like, DC has had Legacy built into their universe from day one.
Yeah, well, that's what people were pissed about
Marvel has
with
not.
New 52.
And so now Rebirth happens. They're like, guys, like, let's rebuild and get Legacy back in. And Marvel's like, hey, well, we got this thing called Legacy. We have Legacy, guys. It's really interesting it'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
Yeah.
For Marvel, because I feel like it's a little forced Legacy. It's not something that's a part of their DNA.
That's true.
But now they're like, no, but see, there was a Ghost Rider, a Phoenix, a Thor, an Iron Fist, and a Star Brand in the Stone Age, guys. So see, there's Legacy.
Well, here's the thing. There was a Legacy with like Ghost Rider, because there was the horse, there was the cowboy one, and
that's true.
So there, like Johnny Blaze.
There's some there, and here, there. And Iron Fist, there's always kind of been that idea that it's a Legacy as well.
But I'm trying to think, like the only Legacy really, I think like, there's been Legacy with Captain America, because he did have, if you ever read, was it Captain America? They did a really cool story a long time ago where they actually had like a black Captain America first, because it was like based in like racism. It was like, hey, we'll experiment on like black soldiers first. It's kind of interesting. So that's who the guy who joined the Young Avengers. What was his name?
Oh, dude, I remember reading that.
So
did he call himself? He didn't call himself a Patriot.
I think he was. He was like Kid Patriot or something. Whatever. I might be wrong.
Another great opening story arc.
Yeah, right.
Was that book?
And so that was cool, because they were tying into the legacy of the Captain America story, right? And they did something that didn't feel like it was shoehorned. It was really cool, but where is it? It's gone, right? I mean, that character's still around, because you see him in the background in like, I think he was in Secret Empires. Was he in there somewhere?
No, Secret War, I think.
Maybe he's in Secret War. I don't know.
Secret War was like all the different realities and stuff collecting. So anyway.
Yeah. So anyways, like Marvel does have Legacy. They just don't know how to exploit it well, I think. Right? Would you say that?
I think they have bits of Legacy. I still don't think it's like core to like who their main characters are. because they keep coming back to Thor. They keep coming back to Tony Stark. Like, what's the next big Marvel Legacy story? Oh, Tony Stark is coming back. Mm-hmm. Where I'm like, dang, dude, like, Riri Williams is actually a really cool character. Why don't you just roll with that for a while? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, but I understand why.
Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, is a good example of legacy that I think actually was really, really well done. Probably the best I've seen them do that.
Yeah. I think that there is something about having like new characters created that connect, and when they connect, that's amazing. I think they're never really going to get rid of like their flagships, though. You're never going to get rid of Tony Stark. Maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
True. That's true.
It's one of those deals, dude. Like, that's just how it sells. DC did it for a time when like Wally West was Flash. That was like a big deal. And then they freaking brought Barry Allen back, and there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I'm not really mad about Barry Allen being back, though. Sorry.
I don't. Yeah. I think.
See, but I like when Bart Allen was the Flash for like a couple months.
What? I didn't like that at all. When he was like adult version.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What? Oh, dude.
That was the worst.
See,
that was the worst.
Bart Allen. This hot take. Bart Allen is one of my favorite Flash characters. And maybe that was because of my reading of when Jeff Johns was doing Teen Titans.
Yeah,
and
I think
Bart was
he's
a part
great.
of that. Like, I felt like I grew up with him almost. But yeah, I mean, when he aged into an adult and then took on the Flash stuff for a while, and then they killed him, and oh my gosh, dude, that was bad.
Yeah, but no, you just said it was the best.
No, I liked him being the Flash. Is what I said.
You're a Flash appreciator. That's
I am.
Why you're a Flash appreciator.
Which is why I love the new Justice League posters.
Oh, dude. Okay, we'll talk about those posters. Those posters are really cool. Like
the lighting on the Batman one, that little bit of like reddish, like purple lighting on it, I think is so cool.
Probably.
Okay, so let's talk where the lighting's coming from. It just looks rad.
Yeah, I actually really like them. Except, let's talk about the big glaring issues that they have on these things.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, sorry. One of them I do not think is rad.
Oh man, what is up with that Cyborg one? Like, Cyborg was the first one it was the second one they put out. I feel like the pose they have him in is really awkward.
The pose is awkward, and his design doesn't help. Like, I've said it from the first trailer we saw him in. This Cyborg design is wonky.
Really? I don't mind it too much. It looks alien. It looks like a mother box created him.
I don't mind it looking alien. I'm not talking about that. But the fact that, like, I look at this poster and I can't see his right hand, like everything kind of blends together. Like, that's a problem from a design perspective.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree totally. His hand, when you look at it, you're like, wait, oh, there it is. It just kind of blends in.
And even his leg, too, like being up at the angle like that, I couldn't even tell what was going on there at first. Again, because all of this seems to, like, when you look at, like, not like everything needs to be like Teen Titans Go, but you look at the design for Cyborg in that, even though it's cartoony, you have the blue parts of it. You can see parts of his actual regular skin. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have things to break up, so it's not just one big hunk of, like, silver.
Yeah. I wish that they used kind of like, I wish he still had his arms, you know, like even like right now in like the Rebirth Cyborg, he's got both of his arms. You know, you can see.
Yeah. You just have like his hands are what changes.
Yeah. And so I wish that there was a little more of the human element there, so he wasn't all full on robot.
So I'll get that one out of the way. That for me is the glaring one that sticks out. But you were saying that there was another poster that you thought something was a little out of whack.
Yeah, if you look at all the posters and you like laid them on top of each other, and the one that's off is the Wonder Woman one. The whole all-in like typeface on top of it is like smaller, and the like all the, you know, the information like IMAX and release stuff, that's all bigger and weird. It's not in the same position as the other ones.
Is it bigger? I mean, I know it's not formatted the same.
It's different. It's way different. It's in a different place. It's really weird. And, you know, to be honest, another issue I found was when I was putting him in the Photoshop, the Aquaman one is at a smaller resolution. So I don't know what.
So weird.
When they released them all, like they're all like, they just rushed him or something. Like somebody was like, "Oh, got to get a got to get these things out. And, that happens sometimes. But
I think like I said with the Batman one, what sticks out to me on all these is just the use of like a complementary color lighting on things. Like Batman's got like the purpley red. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
They
like
all have
light on it. She has like a golden kind of light, on hers. Mm-hmm. And then Aquaman is like that green and yellow man is just super strong.
Dude, Aquaman looks awesome.
And then the Flash one, like the blue. Okay, so traditionally, lightning of the Flash is not blue.
Yeah.
In the comics, so I didn't know how to feel about that. But in this poster, at least, I'm like, I actually get that, like the contrast with the red of his costume.
Yeah.
Because he already has red and yellow on his costume, so to have a third color on there, I think makes sense color wise. And I don't know why I never noticed all of the wires and stuff all over his costume before too.
You serious? You never noticed those?
No.
Huh.
I feel like this is the best look we've had at the costume.
Okay.
Lighting wise, especially too, because it's so bright red.
Yeah.
It just makes my heart happy.
It looks really good. Like the Flash costume looks really good on this poster. So.
And the pose looks really great too. Like, it's solid.
That costume is growing on me. I hope that they do update it though at some point. But anyways, yeah, those posters are good. Like one of the cool things that Warner Brothers does is they do some interesting posters when they put their movies out. I would say all the Batman vs Superman posters were good. The Wonder Woman ones were like amazing. These Justice League ones are really cool. Even last week they just put out the head ones, like the headshot ones. Oh, remember those?
Yeah, they just need it without the weird logos standing in for letters thing. Yeah, I saw that poster at the movie theater last week and it just made me sad.
That poster is really cool. I didn't like the.
Don't put logos in for letters, guys.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, but
just not
the image overall is really good. And
yeah, the Alex Ross like style, like photo like that is super cool.
I hope they do an updated one, like once the movie's out with Superman in there. That's all. It just needs Superman in there, and you know they did. He's got to be in there. But speaking of Justice League, the third and probably final trailer is coming out Sunday.
Yeah, I hope there's no more trailers, man. That movie is just over a month away, man.
They tend to do stuff like that, though. Like I remember even with
really
Dark Knight
start to get crazy with promotional stuff from here on out.
Because I feel like there's a special like Nokia version of the trailer for like Dark Knight and whatever, and even I think
all I know is coming out of Batman v Superman, I wished I watched less trailers.
Okay,
I remember thinking coming out of the movie, like, dang, I wish I wouldn't have watched so many trailers. So I'm a little hesitant for this last trailer, man. It's close enough where I'm like, I'm gonna go see the movie. I don't know if I need to see another trailer.
I just like trailers. Like I'm already pumped for the movie. I just don't want anything spoiled. And I think they learned their lessons with the Doomsday trailer. Again, Wonder Woman, they didn't spoil anything. Wonder Woman, true. Yeah, Wonder Woman was pretty like you got the idea of what was going on, but it didn't like spoil anything main like the storyline. So
I feel like even with that though, if I can nitpick on that, if I would have experienced the No Man's Land, like slow motion stuff for the first time in the movie, I feel like as awesome as it would have had even more impact if I hadn't already seen that shot in promotional stuff.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Okay.
I don't think, I'm not of the mind that trailers like ruin a movie necessarily unless they're really poorly done. But I do think it can be enhanced when you're experiencing more of the movie for the first time. Maybe I'm just getting old and curmudgeonly, and that's just my preference now.
Yeah, possibly. Or you have more willpower than me, because I just like I'm like I want to see as much of stuff as possible. I'm just really excited.
Where do you draw the line, though? Do you do because they always do like watch this clip, or watch this TV ad. Like,
I watch them.
You watch all of them?
I think so. Like, it's weird for a movie.
You really don't have self-control.
For a movie I'm really excited about, I'll watch everything I can possibly see. For a movie I don't care about that much, I'll be like, okay.
You know another movie I did that with as well, and I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have watched so much because I let myself get so excited. Green Lantern.
Oh, really?
I watched every single clip of everything they released because I was so stoked for it. And then it just broke our hearts. Just let down, man. Well, Mark Strong didn't let me down, but everybody else did. All right, man. Let's move out of this news. This is we're dawdling in the news.
Yeah, we are just
now we can move on to dancing and some trash juice.
Oh yeah, dancing and trash juice.
It's like dancing in the rain or on the ceiling, but just a little different.
Yeah, it's like Lionel Richie's like dancing on the ceiling, except
dancing in the trash juice.
All right. So this week's trash juice. Oh man. So I've been sick, which has been trash juice just in life. But I got the chance to finally, as I was laying in bed, watch. Oh gosh, I watched.
You can't even.
I can't even talk about. See, here's the thing: Marvel has done such a great job with its like MCU, like from Iron Man all the way to like now, right? There hasn't been any huge misses, right? Would you say?
I feel like I understand, like, Jeff Loeb, quote unquote, it's all connected.
Yeah. TV's
a little different though, especially ABC. TV. Let's be honest, dude. How much do you enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how much of last season did you watch?
I watched like one episode.
Yeah.
But is it terrible? It's probably not terrible.
It's just not good. That's different than terrible.
Okay.
But we're talking trash juice here.
I'm talking trash juice here. I'm saying, like, if I had to rate like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I would say it's a go. If you really, really are invested, then you probably want to watch it. I actually have heard really good things about the last season. I just was kind of done. I just don't have time to watch S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Only so much time.
But in the day. I would say, out of all the Marvel stuff that's been coming out, like that's connected to the MCU, I'm talking Netflix stuff, the movies, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, all that stuff. It's all been relatively good. The lowest of the low probably being Iron Fist, right? And even Iron Fist wasn't trash juice. I think it was a go, right? It was a let's go.
Yeah.
I don't hate it as much as everyone else, but it was still hard to get through. It felt like a chore. Dude, Marvel's INHUMANS is freaking trash juice. It's crap, dude. It's like the worst freaking show of all time. Oh my gosh. So I'm all pumped up because I don't like this show. It's terrible, dude. It's terrible. Like the big pump was like, oh, this is IMAX and they're doing this big special thing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so freaking annoyed about this show, dude. It's funny. Like, do all these big sweeping shots, like in Hawaii. They filmed it in Hawaii because, hey, we're in IMAX. Here's a sweeping shot, and then they zoom in.
You poor suckers that paid IMAX prices to go see that TV show.
It's so terrible, dude. It's terrible.
Do you know how much movie it made in IMAX? Like, did people actually pay $15 or however much it is to go watch a TV show?
I don't know what they did. I don't know. I was listening to a podcast where someone said they went and watched it, and they were the only person in the theater watching it in IMAX. And I'm like, I would have fell asleep, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so I tried, because I knew we were going to be talking about it, because Justin hasn't given me the details, but he's just been very vocal about how he felt about this.
I hate this. It's terrible.
So before Justin came over today, I watched the first 6 minutes of the first episode, and I feel like that was enough.
Yeah, it really is. It's bad. It's so bad. So here's the thing. I don't know much about the INHUMANS. I know a little bit, right? This doesn't make me want to read anything about the INHUMANS. And even when Marvel was like, we're just going to invest everything into the INHUMANS because we have the rights to do that. They can't do X-Men, so they're going to put everything on INHUMANS. Man, this was just such a misfire. They can't make a movie now. They can't go, oh, you know what? We're just going to make a movie that's going to erase. That would be weird. That would actually be the one thing.
That's not happening.
They just need to go, well, just misfired on that one. We're done. What can you do? Okay. So Black Bolt, this cat who's playing Black Bolt, Anson Mount, you said that he was really good.
Yeah, he was on the show. We watched the show Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
He's a badass in it. He's great.
Dude.
He also talks in that show. So, yeah.
Well, and here's the thing I was going to say. So Black Bolt doesn't talk. If he talks, freaking destroys the world, right?
Which is such a cool idea for a character.
It is. Remember, Vin Diesel was like, oh yeah, I want to be him. He wanted to be Black Bolt. And I was kind of behind that. That's cool if they did the movie.
Why not?
Make it happen. Vin Diesel can pull off, silent, badass type of dude. This guy just looks like he's holding in a fart all the time. That's what it looks like, man. This guy is just every time he kind of reminds me of Zoolander. He's got this Zoolander face. It's like he's doing Blue Steel all the time. Every time he responds to something, his eyes are just very big and he's got this face of oh dude, we're all hanging out. It's like he's on a date with a girl and he's got a fart and he's like, oh, what do I do? He's got to internalize it and then make sure it doesn't slip out. That's his face the entire time to every situation, man. Oh, dude. And then Medusa.
Oh, dude. It's
her
weird.
costume is terrible. Like, the costumes on this are terrible.
Really bad.
They're like Comic-Con cosplay costumes, but like worse. Like, her costume just looks weird.
Let's just talk about the wig, because promotional stuff. Like, you can't completely judge something based on promotional stuff. Like, that's not fair, right? You got to see stuff in action, dude. I'm telling you, every time I've seen Medusa in a comic book, her hair is always doing something different. Mm-hmm. It's never laying flat, ever.
Here it is,
dude. It like in those 6 minutes I watched, it moved like twice.
Dude, at least put a fan on it, like in a shampoo commercial for Pantene. The hair is always moving, like whoosh, right? This is freaking awful.
If you're putting IMAX money into this, dude, like do some freaking effects.
You know what they did? They filmed in Hawaii. That's all they did. That's their IMAX money went to helicopters. They paid helicopters to fly around Hawaii because you can tell every time there's a transition to a scene, it's always like this big wide shot of Hawaii. It's almost like they just took stuff from Lost. and then through.
What's funny is everyone has filmed on that island.
Yeah,
that part of Oahu, like everyone's used that.
I feel like Ken Loang, just like he plays freaking Karnak. He was just hanging out still. They're like, "You still in Hawaii, right? You want to be on this show?" Yeah, and then the fights are awful. And here we go, going back to the awful fights. You know who's freaking the showrunner on this thing? Scott Buck, aka Iron Fist, aka the worst that was before has led into the worst that is now. It was just a bad Marvel show. Everybody on the show is terrible. Not a single person on this. I'm like, oh, this is good. The best part of the show is the freaking CGI dog that looks like crap. This whole thing, Lockjaw was like, oh, it's not even cute. Crystal, she sucks. Gorgon, he sucks. Everything sucks on the show. I'm not being hyperbolic. The show is terrible. The show is terrible. And I know this is probably the most passionate I've been about something being terrible. This is an awful show.
We usually keep it pretty positive around here, man.
It's so bad, they shaved her head. Sorry, spoilers. Spoilers. They shaved freaking Medusa's head because they're like, we can't pay for the money. This is my opinion. We just can't pay for her hair anymore. So let's shave her head.
Wow.
Dude, yeah, it's just a bad freaking...
The one thing that the character has going for her.
Yeah, let's get rid of it. Hey, you know what? You know how you got these powers? No powers. They freaking Smallville her, dude. Like, no flying, no doing anything. Yeah. Can't use your powers on the show. Oh, and Maximus, he's the worst. I feel like he's the worst.
Black Bolt has this rad costume in the comics and this mask?
Nope.
Not going to have that.
Okay, so I don't know how far you got, but there's just... Sorry. It just made me laugh so hard. So there's a part where freaking Black Bolt gets transported into Hawaii and he's like in the middle of the city and like the cops show up and they end up beating him down and he does this little grunt and it spins like a cop car everywhere. But when he does it goes back to him like holding in a fart type of deal. That's what it felt like. He was just like, oh.
Maybe he always is. Like, what if his farts do the same thing as his voice?
Well, his power...
That dude can never do that.
With Black Bolt, can't he internalize his power that he has and use it in a physical form?
For strength or for... Yeah. Can he fly? He can do at least big jumps or something, right?
Maybe it's his farts that make him fly. I don't know. I don't know, too.
But maybe it's his farts that make him fly.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. It was just bad. It's all bad, and it's all terrible, and it's all I'm not interested, and I feel sad because Inhumans could be cool. And Marvel has the storytellers and the people that know what they're doing on the cinematic side and the TV side. Once it's split, you can just tell. I don't know. I'm just not excited for it, and I'm going to calm down now.
Do you feel like it's going to be funny if you keep watching it? It's so bad that it would be
part of me is curious, okay, what happens next? But part of me is I know what's going to happen next. It's just going to suck. They even said it's not renewed for season 2. They're trying to re-change the dialogue. Oh, it's a show that's just going to be on TV for a season. It's a one season deal. Not coming back.
Sure.
Because they've probably poured so much money into this deal that they've got to let the rest of them ride out and be done. It's just,
oh man,
it sucks. It sucks that this is the Inhumans in the MCU. There you go.
Well, There it is. Trash juice.
Trash juice. All right, Matt Ritchie, save me. You're my only hope right now, dude.
No, don't put that pressure on me.
Save me, dude.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. So let's do some comic books, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, really. At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And so before we do that, though, we need to talk about the format system in which we give our opinion about such matters. So we need to go over the Let's Go rating system.
Yes, and what are we going to base it on this time? Last time we based it on like chips or something, right?
Shoot, let's keep it with the food categories. And let's go fast food.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm pumped for this. All right, cool. All right, so gotta go.
That is like you need to go. You need to make this happen.
I'm gonna say In-N-Out,
dude.
Right? And if you're not in Southern California or like I think Texas and some parts of Arizona,
Whataburger and all those different things. Dude,
no, Whataburger.
Dude, there's hot takes everywhere coming around. By the way, people are like actually getting the courage to say like that In-N-Out isn't good.
Yeah, well, they're wrong.
They are completely like everyone has a freedom to be wrong.
Okay, so gotta go.
Below that, we gotta let's go.
Okay,
which that's when opinion and preference starts to kind of kick in.
Yeah, that's a very good like way of like putting it. I think. Yeah. I would say a let's go is for me. I'll get a Carl's Jr. hamburger. That's like a let's go. Yeah. I feel like it's okay.
I was going to say Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, okay, like Chick-fil-A. That's good. I was thinking burgers. You said burgers. You didn't say chicken sandwiches.
I said fast food.
You said fast food. You're right. That's fair. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's good.
Yeah.
You know what's not good? What's that other chicken place?
Oh, dude, we'll get there. Let's go to let's get there. Okay. And then go. Like that's even more based in opinion and preference.
I'll say Del Taco.
And I would say Taco Bell. So that's why.
And I love Del Taco.
Which is why.
I'm going to change it. Del Taco's my let's go.
Whoa.
I love Del Taco.
All right.
Everything there, I'm like, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Right. So we have gotta go. We have let's go. We have go. And then don't go.
What the heck is that place? Don't go.
Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's. Don't go to Raising Cane's. You know what? It's not good. All my friends are like, Raising Cane's, you gotta go to Raising Cane's. That sauce isn't even that good. Like, oh, the sauce is the best. It's not the best sauce. And the chicken's not that good. If you eat Chick-fil-A chicken without sauce, it's good. Raising Cane's, not good. You have to dip it into sauce that doesn't even taste good to say, oh, it tastes good. Not good. And they have Texas toast. You can't say, oh, it's good because they have Texas toast.
I like Texas toast. I don't like
you don't go to Raising Cane's for Texas
toast. Like that, though.
Yeah,
no.
It's overpriced. So do you agree with me?
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, Matt agrees with me. Okay, cool. I thought we were disagreeing.
Don't go. No.
Raising Cane's.
I'm not going to defend it, dude.
Is a don't go, right? Okay, there you go. Now.
So we have gotta go, let's go, go, don't go.
Yeah, there you go.
There's context for moving forward. Now we're going to talk about some comic books. So we're going to talk about two. Oh man, it's Justin's big day. Two Batman-related books. Which one do you want to hit first, Justin?
Let's talk White Knight first.
All right, so we have Batman White Knight, issue number 1.
Yeah.
Sean Murphy.
Yes.
Drawing and writing, correct?
Yep.
And that was released
Wednesday.
This week, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man. This week. And so, do we want to give a rating and then we could spoil it?
Yeah, let's give it a rating.
People should read this for sure, but
I think it's a definite gotta go. I think, and here's the thing, I have complaints about it, but it's just my proclivity is what I feel about comics. But
you feel very strongly about Batman.
I do,
so that's okay.
It's definitely really good. First off, Sean Murphy, he's really good. Like, did you read Punk Rock Jesus?
No.
Oh man, that thing is really honked up, but it's good. It's really good, man. So check it out.
So I would say it's a let's go.
Yeah,
I would agree. It's really good. It's a different kind of Batman story for sure. But one that makes sense. You're like, oh, I could see how this could be a natural outcome in some way.
Yeah, it's definitely not taking place in the current timeline. You know, it's kind of a one-off Elseworlds type of deal. But I love his Batmobile, dude. Sorry.
Dude, no, it's fine. I think we can get into details. Yeah. But before we do, if you haven't read this,
spoilers.
We're going to go into spoilers, so you should read this before you listen to us spoil it.
Yeah, it's
all right.
It's great.
So here we go. Spoilers.
Okay,
Justin.
Woo, there we go.
You like that Batmobile?
That dude, he just if you pay attention to the stuff that he's drawn, going back again to Punk Rock Jesus, a lot of motorcycles and machinery and stuff in that. This Batmobile is really good looking. Like sometimes I think people draw like a generic looking Batmobile. His looks awesome. It just looks like a big, mean car that's going to like drive through walls and potentially injure people like it does in this comic.
Yeah, because you have opinions on like the Batmobile and what kind of car it is and stuff, right? I mean, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, just what it looks like in the thought process.
You like the Tumbler more than the sleek, like, you know, Burton.
I love the Burton Mobile, dude. That's my favorite Batmobile of all time. Like,
is that exactly the same as the animated series?
No.
Animated series, I would say, is one of my favorites. Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Over the Burton Mobile? Okay. I actually like the...
I just like, because it fits the Art Deco kind of vibe of it, and I like that.
No, I get you. It's not a bad looking
one. A little
one.
More straight lines, a little less of the curviness.
Oh, man, the Burton one. Like, when you see the Burton Batmobile, if you've never heard of Batman, you look at that thing and you're like, that's a Batmobile.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Okay. So...
sorry.
No, that's fine. I think we're kind of starting in that, but the art... Let's talk about the art in general.
Art is fantastic.
Yep.
Even some of the weird stuff, I like Nightwing wearing a leather jacket. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, his design for Batgirl too. Like all of the little touches, it's enough his own, but enough familiarity to it that you're not like lost on who's who.
Yeah, I'm not into Batman kind of having chaps. That's kind of weird, but whatever. Like that part was a little weird to me, but other than that, it's just choices. The one thing I didn't like about this was for them to call Joker Jack Napier. I don't really dig that like identity reveal. Yeah. It worked for Batman 89, I guess, which I didn't like.
Even that, I didn't care for it.
And they even brought that into the animated series, like Jack Napier being Joker's real name. I don't like Joker having a real identity. I don't like him having a, you know, like, oh, here's who he used to be.
Yeah,
but they're kind of
I would have been okay if there had been like just calling him Jack instead of the Joker, like just to have a name other than Joker. Do you know what I mean? So I think what I love about this, like all of the facial expressions on the characters, fantastic. Like everything feels really dynamic when you see Nightwing like swoop in, like slide in on a motorcycle and catch this guy. Like it feels like something's moving between the panels, which I think is always the sign of something really good in comic books. Like when you feel like there's movement between the panels. Yeah, it's
his storytelling is fantastic. Like, and I think that's why I like it so much. His artwork is just really good, and he knows how to pull the camera back, and he knows how to like to zoom in, and he's just
the use of color is really great too.
Yeah.
You have different shots where it's just like really dark, really grimy, but then you have like bright pink background or something like that. Like it just works super well. And the fact that, can we talk about like when Batman's chasing Joker at the beginning of that, in that chase?
Yeah.
Is Joker on a hoverboard thingy?
Like
that's what he, like the hoverboard, like the people that just stand at the two wheels and whatever.
It looks like he's
on one of those.
He's
right?
like he's jamming on it in a. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Marty McFly one.
No, but I know that's confusing. But that's what they call it, right?
Yeah. He's
totally using one of those, which I thought was really funny.
And it's flying, dude. I mean, it's going fast. So yeah, it's really funny.
I think he really played up the whole like spurned lover like aspect of Joker too, and kind of dug into that, which I feel like, man, when you get to that panel of Batman just beating the crap out of him and then shoving the pills down his mouth, like that is a crazy page to take in, to where it makes sense when the next time people are like, maybe Batman's not a good guy. Like you can see, like he's set you up to be like, you know, that's not that far out of the realm of possibility for people to see it that way.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't feel bad for the Joker at all. I'm like, dude, the Joker deserves every like punch in the face and all this other stuff. Like, there's an interesting take though in the book where they're like, well, that's never been proved. You know, like, oh, he didn't really do all those things. You know, So in this world, it's
that he's never been convicted for.
Yeah, he's never been convicted of these things, and it's like,
Well, I think that's a lot of what it is. Like they're playing into the technicalities because at the same time, when he talks to Batman later or Gordon, when he's talking to him and saying like, if one of your cops did that to me, like he'd be charged with assault. Mm-hmm. Like even if it's a criminal, you're not allowed to like lay into someone like that, right? Yeah. And so I think there's some interesting things brought up, and I think that paired with this is a Batman that's willing to do whatever it takes to save Gotham and even blur some of the lines.
Yeah.
I think that's setting up for a really interesting story.
Yeah.
Like when you have like Dick challenging him and be like, why is this freeze technology keeping Alfred alive?
Yeah.
We're like, what? Yeah. Batman's working with a freaking supervillain to try, like, I don't know, man. It's so interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely like some really deep Batman cuts in here too. One of the pages I really like is when Joker or Jack Napier wakes up from being out of the hospital and you're in his room. It has all this really cool Batman 89 memorabilia in there. There's some Batman in the animated series. There's a Lego Batman.
All the Batman memorabilia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, ooh, that's all some really cool stuff. All the Batmobiles. Here's my question. Does the pills that Batman shoves down his throat, does that like heal does that turn like his body back into like,
yeah,
because he's no longer white and green. He's white and orange. You know what I'm saying? And which I don't like the orange hair on Joker, FYI. That's weird because they do that little flashback scene where he's doing comedy and stuff, and I guess his hair is red there. I don't know, but
yeah, I'm not hung up on that as much.
Part of me is like, he doesn't paint his whole body white. Like he's in the comics, he's traditionally like just his skin's bleached out because of the chemical bath. That's where I'm like, did the medicine heal his skin? But it wouldn't turn your hair. I don't know. That's weird. Like I feel like your hair would have to grow out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not hung up on that.
I'm not hung up, but it was something I thought about. Like it doesn't ruin it. It was just more of a decision I was processing. So
overall, I think it's really a great idea, and it's a Batman and Joker story that we've never read before.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Because that opening scene of him going to visit Batman in his cell in Arkham and saying, "I need your help," like that right there sets you up for something completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's 8 issues, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be another limited series. Dude, people just keep making really awesome limited series. I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to run forever. Just tell a story.
Exactly.
And this looks like it's going to be a really cool story.
Yeah, it definitely does. So it's, for me, again, it's gotta go. It's so good, man. It's such a good comic. So check that out if you haven't. If you're like, oh, should I get that Batman comic? I'm telling you, you definitely.
This is a good one, guys.
So, all right.
All right. So the other one we wanted to talk about is actually a story arc that just came to a close this week, and that is the War of Jokes and Riddles, and that was, I think, started in Batman issue probably 27?
Yeah, something like that.
And then issue 32, the final issue of this arc came out this Wednesday, so we're going to dig into that. Overall rating before we get into the nitty gritty of this one, Justin.
Okay, and this is going to be based on the entire arc for me.
Yeah, not just this issue.
Yeah, gotta go.
Ooh. I would say there's enough things that weren't my preference that I would say let's go in this one as well.
Okay. Oh, you're doing a let's go. Huh?
You're very enthusiastic today.
I love
everything's either the best or the worst. It's fine, dude. No, and we'll talk about that. It's okay.
It's so good.
So check out these issues if you're interested. I mean, if you like classic Batman villains, they're probably in here at least once or twice. Yeah. It's definitely a cool focus on the Riddler and Joker. And again, I think a creative way of having Joker in a story where you haven't really seen him like this before. But that's what I would say about that.
Yeah.
From here on out. Spoilers, people.
Yeah, spoilers. This artwork was so good. Like,
so good. Every time I saw a close-up of Joker and his frown, it just was like, that looks awesome.
I'm thinking like Michael Yannon, his Joker is probably one of my favorites like next to Brian Boylan. That's what I'm
Wow,
saying. Like,
nice.
It's just
high praise right there.
Yeah, it's really he just.
I will say it's not an art point of view, but a design point of view. The Riddler is probably one of my least favorite.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this like Riddler with the sideburns deal. That kind of emerged in freaking New 52 in the whole Year Zero crap. I feel like
well, I mean, we've had stuff with Riddler with long hair and stuff before, like in different incarnations, which isn't bad.
Yeah,
but
I didn't like the question mark on the chest.
The question mark on the chest and the open like collared shirt and stuff. That's not my favorite.
My favorite version of the Riddler I think has been in like the Arkham games. That like this like guy holed up in like a room somewhere messing with Batman, and I kind of like that look, you know.
Yep.
I think that was a good look for the Riddler. But anywho, I don't want to like.
For me, it doesn't get. I mean, Batman 66 Riddler is just still the.
Oh yeah! Definitely. Like Frank Gorshin, he's the best Riddler.
So
yeah,
question getting into this comic book.
Yeah.
So this is the last issue of what's been going on for a little while, right? It's been a few months.
Mm-hmm.
So it opened with Batman telling this story to Selena Kyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, before you answer me on whether you want to marry me or not, you should know this thing that I'm ashamed of, right? So do you feel like the ending of this delivered on what was promised in that? Do you feel like it was a big, huge revelation that shocks Batman and Batman fans?
I don't think it. Yeah, because it unless you just watch the movies, then you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. But if you're a fan of Batman and you're like, you know how like close he holds his convictions and his like rules, you know, then like with him feeling like I was going to kill the Riddler, you know,
like I shoved the knife toward him, with the intent.
It's because I feel like it's like that promise he makes to himself, and it's almost dishonoring to his family, is why he holds that so close that he was willing to go over that edge and do the one thing that he said, I'm not going to do that. You know, it's like the Dark Knight. Like Joker was going to make him break his one rule, but he never did. You know, he'll go out of his way because he always feels like, even though the Joker freaking kills everybody, Batman feels like we could rehabilitate this guy, which is almost crazy. Like, you know, Batman, just push him off a building and let it be done, you know? But that's where you're like, that's the crazy like dichotomy of Batman is like, he won't do what probably should be done. He'll do everything to protect Gotham except take a fool out, you know?
Yeah.
And so I really like that. And
I think we're seeing what that could play out as in Dark Knight's Metal.
Exactly. I was just
you're seeing it in those characters. You're like, what if Batman did do whatever was needed and whatever measures he could be like, oh, maybe that's not the best thing for him to really go that extreme. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I mean, for me, it didn't seem like the best payoff. It seemed like, like I get it. Like it's something he's ashamed of, but it didn't feel like, So I mean,
okay.
Here's the thing. Art was really great. The writing itself was great. I had issues with pacing. Like I felt like when I hear it's going to be an all-out war between all of Batman's rogues gallery split into two teams, you know, fighting each other, I feel like we rarely saw that. I felt like most of it was implied. Like you knew stuff was going on, but you didn't get to see. Like I want to see Killer Croc and Clayface fight each other. I want to see, or Solomon Grundy. I want to see. Do you know what I mean? Like issue 30 or 31, whatever we had Deathstroke and Deadshot. Like a full page, you know, double page spread of like one pose, but we didn't see like a fight between them. Well, like stuff like that, I think could have been really cool to see more of that. So what you have, like, I felt like maybe I just envisioned it a little differently. You know, when I saw what it was going to be, I'm like, whoa, war of jokes and riddles. Like, it didn't seem like much of a war to me. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. And I think and you end up seeing is like, oh, it wasn't actually about the war. Because for me, like the two interludes with Kite Man's story and then the part he ended up playing in the story overall, that actually ended up, I think, being my favorite part.
Really? Yeah, those are actually really good parts.
I think it fleshed out his character and took this goofy character that really was a joke, like literally was a punchline in a few of Tom King's issues, right, in his run, and has actually explored like that idea of like him internalizing that, like being the butt of the joke.
I love that Tom King did that, by the way, that, kind of brought him in like earlier in the series, and there's kind of a little bit of a payoff, like, oh, okay.
I thought that was a huge payoff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's some really great planning, story-wise.
Yeah. For me, it worked. I didn't want to see these gigantic battles between everybody, because I understand what they were doing. Like the way they set up the story. It really wasn't about Deathstroke and Deadshot like going at it. It was that it was going on in the background. It was the results of those things.
Yeah.
That, like they had.
Like
to deal
I can
with.
see that now.
Yeah, they did this a few times. What I thought was really powerful was when you first open up the comic, like I think it's like the second and third page, this spread of like all the victims. Dude, that just made it feel so real, Totally. It made it feel like a definite real thing was going on. And if you did you read like all the different like crimes that were committed? It was kind of like, this is terrible. And like Batman having to feel responsible for all these deaths, all these things that have happened, which makes the decision at the end even more like,
for him to go after Riddler, because Riddler's like, oh yeah, plans within plans. I actually orchestrated this entire thing.
Yeah. And the part that was the worst is like, yeah, and even I killed Kite Man's kid. You're like, oh, you freaking deserve to be dead, but Batman still's like, I can't kill people. I can't do that. I can't cross that line.
So basically, Joker saved him.
Yeah, and that's the part that was the best. Where the Joker's like, that's funny. Finally they made the Joker laugh. Like he had to save Batman at the end.
Okay, and
the Riddler.
All of his jokes he kept telling throughout all the issues that weren't making him laugh.
Yeah,
I thought they were all really funny.
Well, there you go.
Like the knock jokes and all the different stuff. Like it was all really good stuff.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing was great in this last issue, especially like when you use that panel grid, like in a way to bring motion and movement between the panels and to kind of move things. I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
So I think the big thing at the end is we get Selena Kyle's answer.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. We're going to spoil this.
Yeah.
First
we
off,
said spoilers. That's
DC.
Fine. I think it's one of the biggest things. It's one of the most revealing things that we are not in the New 52 anymore.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Oh, man. The New 52 Batman and Catwoman was awful.
Oh, it was actually kind of gross.
It was really gross and really bad, man.
Not gross as in like girls are gross kind of way.
No, it was just how they made it.
Wow, you guys are really going at it with this one.
Yeah, it was really
and the
bad.
mandate and the dismantling of all of the established relationships and stuff like that was a big part of New 52, and reintegrating those was a big part of Rebirth, right?
Yeah.
So then you have this. I mean, guys, she said yes, like they're getting married.
Yeah. So which I love. See, I like the idea of Batman and Catwoman. Like that's what I liked about Hush. Is this like he needs her? She kind of completes him, and even in the Heart of Hush, I think the Heart of Hush was even a better story. If you haven't read that, I like the Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle dynamic. Kind of goes back to like the Golden Age era where they actually end up falling in love, and they have a daughter who becomes the Huntress. And even the Batman Brave and the Bold, they kind of hinted at those like how that story
Batman
goes.
the Brave and the Bold, the cartoon they had. That's when Damian was their kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that
that was, they kind of did a different take on it. But here's what I love. Unlike, and here we go, The Dark Knight Rises, where Bruce and Selena,
you just could not.
I couldn't hold on to it because it made me think about how great them ending up here works, because they've had this history of like back and forth and like
it feels earned in a way that
it does
the Dark Knight Rises didn't. I can see
Dark
that.
Knight. He's like, you just met her. She freaking got your back broken, and you can't really trust her yet. So
this establishes that there's a history there, which again is we're not in New 52 anymore. We're in Rebirth. Like there's a long history between them.
Yeah. And I kind of like the Bat and Cat, like they call each other Bat and Cat. To me, that's cute. And they kind of have this like, he's still going to turn her in if she does something bad, but he will help her out in some ways. Like, okay, I'll make it like your conviction, like not as harsh or whatever. He knows that she's an example of Batman doing good. Like he can help change her. He can get her to be a better person because he knows she's there. Yeah. But he needs to provide her with that safety. And I think she even like in the end, she ends up like saying it's okay. We're all not, we all have these sides and these perfects, and she wants to kind of
because she's like, it could mean something, could mean nothing, like, but who cares? So she's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I think that is almost like part of the balance she plays to Bruce Wayne, Batman 2, is because he cares so deeply, because he thinks through something so much, because everything is so personal. Like, she can balance that to be like, hey, relax a little bit. Like, this is what's important. Mm-hmm. Man. But to see the fallout of, like, what does this mean? Like, is he going to be Batman still? Is it going to be a Batman and Catwoman wedding? Is it going to be a Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle wedding? Like there's legitimate things where I'm like, whoa, like how
they got to have a Batman and Catwoman wedding where the Justice League shows up. Just kidding.
Where Robin's the rogues are on one side and the Justice League's on the other.
No, I don't know. I actually really liked it, and it makes me excited to see. That's what I like. I like to see when the characters do progress.
Yes, it feels like he's not stuck in this perpetual cycle over and over and over again. Like, whoa, this is a way forward for Bruce. And I think Tom King has been... I think he kind of spent this idea of, like, at first was like, Batman's badass. Like, Batman's Batman. Yeah. Like, hell yeah, Batman. Mm. But then you have this one where it's like, but where do you go from there? Yeah. And where you go from there, what's the one place where he can be scared, where he can be vulnerable, where he can be these things? I mean, other than Dark Knight's Metal, where you kind of see that. But it's this way. This is a very real, like, human way to say, like, he still has somewhere to go. He still has growth. And I don't even know if he means it that way, but just, like, props to Tom King in including, like, I mean, Justin and I are both, married and kids and that kind of stuff. I mean, not to each other, but we each have our wives.
Making out earlier. Hey.
But you know what I mean? And we know that doesn't, like, make life more dull. Yeah. It doesn't make life less exciting. Yeah. It actually is the opposite. And I think incorporating that into a comic like that with a character, it's like he has everything. Like, what else could he possibly need? Yeah. And to be like, whoa, like, this is like the next adventure for him almost, is like, how the heck does this work out? Yeah. For both of their lives. You know what I mean? Like, that's marriage, is two separate lives coming together and figuring out, like, how does this fit together? Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be great. I mean, there's so many potential cool like stories, even like with Damian being, like, involved, because he's always like the untrustworthy, like, little butthole. Yeah. So, like, the things that could happen are
I'm
cool.
sure we can count on him continuing to be that.
Yeah. Here's what I hope doesn't happen. I hope that she doesn't decide, no, I can't do this. I hope she doesn't die. I hope they don't kill Catwoman off.
Please do not.
I want this to actually work. I want this to be the status quo moving forward. I think it'd be really cool.
I think it creates, again, it just gives really cool, like doing things creatively. Like, it's all about the curveballs that you throw at yourself, the corners you paint yourself into, and then you kind of have to force yourself to figure a way out of that spot, right? Yep. And I think this is a really interesting wrinkle in Batman's story, to be like, okay, what does it mean to tell Batman stories now with this being a part of it?
Yep. I agree. I 100% agree. I think it's fantastic, and I hope that they move forward with it. And so, in the end, again, reiterating, this is a gotta-go, this storyline. What I liked about this, remember, he was in the beginning when, like, Dark Knight Metal was coming out, like, I'm not going to get wrapped up in that. I'm going to do my own story. I feel like this story is going to leave a bigger wrinkle on Batman in the future than Dark Knight's Metal.
Yeah, because Dark Knight's Metal, it's like he makes his way back and the Dark Knights are defeated eventually, right? I mean,
right. And this, I mean, you kind of know where it's going to end. This is like, I didn't know this was going to happen, and I'm actually more curious and excited about where is this story going to go. So,
Agreed. So those are the comics this week. I also got Iron Fist, which is confusingly number 73. Thank you, Marvel Legacy. But I'll talk about that later. Like, I haven't even really had a chance to read all of it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna I got Kill or Be Killed number 12, which came out a few weeks back. I just didn't pick it up, and then what did I get?
Also, I got Marvel Legacy number 1 last week when we didn't record. So, I mean, that sets up a lot of the ideas and the next kind of wave of stuff for Marvel and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I'd be curious once Justin reads it to see if he's actually interested. Like, did it accomplish what it needed to accomplish in getting you interested for all the stuff coming down the road, you know?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not like super pumped on Legacy because I don't think it's going to change any of the things I read. I'm still going to read Defenders and Daredevil and Guardians. You know, that's kind of my swag there. So I got Commanding #9, which Tom King wrote this issue. I haven't read it yet. Oh,
nice.
But what's cool is it has Kevin Eastman doing artwork with Freddie Williams. Yeah, so from Ninja Turtles, like wow, I think this is his first DC work. So it's definitely like, and it's all black and white. So it's definitely like,
that's cool, man.
Of that, it's just man, this Commandy thing. I can't believe it's almost done. It's got 3 issues left.
Crazy.
And
whole year.
Man, I know it's already been a year. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's cool. So I'll be checking that out.
So I think that's the comics this week.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have, I'm sure, a lot more to talk about after news drops on Doomsday Clock and a few other things this weekend. So I'm looking forward to recording next week already.
Yeah. There'll be a little less of a gap between shows.
Another Dark Knight's Metal, another issue of Mr. Miracle next week, man.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? It's like a Tom King smorgasbord between this and the Commandy and everything. Oh my gosh,
dude, such good stuff.
Cool. All right, well, we're here to wrap up the show. Before we wrap up the show, so we're just continuing to try to get people involved and help supporting the show. So we're always say, go to iTunes, leave us a positive review with 5 stars. That would be amazing. So in addition to that, here's let's pull the curtain back. Like, we want you to help. We want you to be a part of the show. If you like listening, we would love for you to make it possible for us to continue to do the show and make the show better. So we set up our Patreon account. So if you go to patreon.com/letsgocast, because it covers all the Let's Go shows that we're doing, go there. And if you would like to be a patron, please, you can sign up and you can give as little as 3 or as much as 50, whatever you wanted. We're shooting for the moon there, so we don't expect you to feel like, hey, I got to give $50. You don't have to, but if you do give $50, you can be a guest on the show. How about that? You can be...
just buy your way into our hearts.
Yeah. It's a gotta bro. So give us, and we'll give you a t-shirt and stuff like that. So if you just want to give $1 or $3 or whatever, that'd be awesome too. Whatever you can give,
anything helps.
Helpful. So yeah, head on over to patreon.com/letsgocast, and we'll give you a little shout out. If you give $3, we'll say, hey, you know what? This is somebody who is given to the show, and we'll make a sweet song. Matt Ritchie will write a song about you. How about that?
Whoa.
Maybe not.
He's promising all sorts of stuff here.
Yeah, all types of crazy stuff.
Justin has gone rogue.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different tiers. You can sign up. $5 is like, hey, you bought us a comic, or 15, you got us all kinds of beers. You know what I'm saying? Because that would help the other Let's Go podcast show. So yeah, please sign up at patreon.com/letsgocast and help us out. And then if you want to just follow us on social media, you're like, hey, I don't have any dollars, that's cool. The best thing you can do is rate us on iTunes, like I mentioned before. Yeah. Hit us up on Twitter at Let's Go Comic Show, on Instagram at Let's Go Comic Show. You can hit us on Facebook.com/letsgocast, or visit our website at letsgocast.com. You can follow Matt Ritchie on Twitter. How?
At Matt Ritchie, MatTricchey.
Yeah, and you can follow me at J_Rocca, which is on Twitter, and on Instagram if you want to, JRocca. Proper.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Sweet Instagram stories
where I'm just
about
sick.
Being sick.
I'm sick. I don't use Instagram stories so much, but I've been trying here and there. So, anywho.
All right, man.
There you go. This was a show.
That was episode 28.
Yeah. My name's Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.